Welcome students, welcome to Industrial Fluid Power session. This session we are going to see about hydraulic circuits. Under this hydraulic circuits, these are the following topics we are going to see. First one is control of single acting cylinder. The second one is control of double acting cylinder. Then meter in circuits, meter out circuits, bleed up circuits, sequencing circuits, hydraulic circuits for shaper machine, hydraulic circuits for milling machine, and motor synchronizing circuit. So, but in this class, we are going to see about the first two topics, that is the control of single acting cylinder and the control of double acting cylinder. This is the actual image of the single acting cylinder which is used in hydraulic purpose in industry. Now we are going to see the control of single acting cylinder. Here the push button is operated. Here it is a push button. When the push button is operated and the flow of pressurized oil will start via DC valve to a single acting cylinder. First, the oil will enter through port A. Here it is port A, oil from port A, and it will push the piston of single acting cylinder towards right, thereby compressing the spring. When the push button is released, the flow through the port A will stop and spring will expand. This expansion will return the oil to oil tank as mentioned in non-actuated cylinder. In this circuit, we'll see the animated view of the single acting cylinder control. First, the oil from the oil tank, it will goes through the port A and it will push this piston towards right. Okay, this is the actuated position. And here is the control of single acting cylinder for non-actuated position. When the spring returns, it means when the piston gets returns, the push button of DC valve is not operated. That means the pump is not supplying oil to single acting cylinder through port A. The spring has expanded and oil present on the piston side came in during earlier actuated stroke is returned to oil reservoir via DC valve. Here, when the piston come this way, it will now the oil is come to this port and going back to the oil tank. Here we see about the control of single acting cylinder, the non-actuated position animation. When the piston comes from the left to right, right to left, it pushes the oil through port A and comes back to the oil tank. Okay. Now we are going to see about the control of double acting cylinder, that is called as a DA cylinder. This is the actual industrial image for the double acting cylinder. The control of double acting cylinder. In double acting cylinder, but the main difference between the double acting cylinder and the single acting cylinder is in double acting cylinder there is no spring on piston rod. But here there is 4/3 solenoid operated DC valve, that is direction control valve here using, and pressure relief valve will maintain the system pressure. All return lines from the system line are brought back to reservoir. All the return lines is coming back to the reservoir. We have used return line filter to clean the returning low pressure. Here this is the actual image of the double acting cylinder. Now we are going to see about the piston extending, that is from it is the actuated position moving left to right. When the solenoid valve operates at set value and pressurized oil will enter from port A into DA cylinder. Here when solenoid valve is operated, when pump operates, it's the oil will flow from P to A. Okay, so that it moves the piston from left to right. The piston will move from left to right since oil is admitted on front face of piston. The movement is called piston extending. This movement from left to right because oil force the piston face so that the piston move from left to right. Here there is no spring. Actually, spring is connected to the piston. During this movement, oil on the other side of the piston will automatically return to oil tank via DC valve through port T. and B. Okay, so here already the some oil present here. That oil will comes through this port B and through T, and it will come back to the returning line. Okay, so this is the piston extension. Let's see how it's working. The oil from piston B, it moves to A, and it will move the piston to left to right, and the return oil, it moves from the B to T, and it's going to the reservoir. So this is the piston extension movement or the piston forward movement in the double acting cylinder. Now see the piston retracting or the return movement of the double acting cylinder. Now again the solenoid valve operates. When the solenoid valve operates, the piston, it moves to the second setting. Here this is the first setting and this is the second setting. Okay, first setting is a forward motion, second setting is a reverse motion. So when it is moved, the T position will go to the connected with the T is connected with the B, and P is connected with again the P is connected with the A. So okay, now pressurized oil will be supplied through port B via DC valve. Now the oil from the pump, it moves from T to B. Okay, now this movement makes the piston to move from right to left. Okay, piston to move from right to left. Some oil present here, that oil will move from A to P, and it again goes to return oil. So due to pressure of oil, piston will move from right to left. The oil on the other side of piston will return to oil tank via DC valve through port P. Okay, now we see the animation of the return movement. So oil from this port T, it will go to B and it will move the piston, and the return oil, it comes to the oil tank. Okay, now we are going to see about the control of double acting cylinder, that is a no movement position, no movement of the piston. So this movement is also called as intermediate position. Okay, here it is a wait. Here we can see the center position. This is called the no motion. In this position, the center port of DC valve operates. So this is the center port of the DC valve operates. It is clear from the figure that pressurized oil is not going to DA cylinder. Okay, it is returning to the tank. This is called hold position. This is called hold position. It keeps the actuator on hold. The actuator will not move left or to right. So there is no movement of piston on either side. Okay, so we are in this session we studied about the single acting cylinder and the double acting cylinder of the hydraulic system. The single acting cylinder and double acting cylinder, what is the main difference is, in single acting cylinder the spring is operated in the actuator for the return stroke, but in double acting cylinder we are using the same pressurized oil to use for the return stroke. Okay, in double acting cylinder we can use the hold position also, so that we are using the 4/3 DC valve. Okay, thank you students. Thank you. We will see in the next session the remaining circuits.